Namaste and welcome to the Aham Bharatham podcast, the voice of a timeless nation.
Namaste.
Today, we want to invite you on a journey, a journey into the very heart of Tharat.
And when we say Farat, we don't just mean a place on a map.
Exactly, not a geographical location with borders or census data.
No, we're talking about a living current.
Yeah.
A timeless consciousness.
And this is really an invitation, isn't it? To just pause for a moment, to set aside the rush, the sheer urgency of the modern world, and just listen.
To listen for those deep whispers, the ones that have shaped our heritage, our culture.
Our very way of seeing the world for millennia.
That's right. And here on Aham Bharatham, that's what we try to explore, this continuum.
A continuum. What do you mean by that?
I mean, the seamless connection between the deep, profound meditations of our ancient seers.
Right.
And the often surprising reflections that are now coming out of modern science.
So ancient intuition and modern labs sort of meeting in the middle.
Precisely. We're trying to understand how these philosophical truths, which were intuited through inner stillness, are now finding a new language, a new validation in physics and biology.
Because knowledge isn't just a series of separate discoveries.
No, it's a single, unbroken, living flow. The insights we talk about, they are the heartbeat of this civilization. A civilization dedicated to one thing, really.
The inquiry of the self.
The inquiry of the self. And this is the essence of Aham Bharatham. It's the spirit we journey into together.
And it's a recognition that the truth is always now, always present.
Just waiting for a receptive mind.
So where do we begin this journey today?
Let's begin at the bedrock, the absolute foundation of Hindu thought.
Okay.
It's a profound philosophical inversion, really. It's what differentiates the Eastern approach from a lot of the materialist framework of the West.
An inversion? How so?
The ancient sages, through rigorous inner observation, through dhyana, they came to a conclusion.
And that was?
That consciousness is not some accidental byproduct of complex matter.
Which is the standard scientific view, more or less.
It has been, yes. But they said no. They said that consciousness is the fundamental foundational reality of the universe.
Wow. Okay, so that flips everything on its head.
Completely.
Right.
And to really grasp the size of this realization, we have to sit with the meaning of the great declaration, the Mahavakya from the Upanishad.
4 profound words.
Just 4. Prajnanam, Prajnan Brahma.
Can you break that down for us? Prajnana Brahma.
Of course. Prajnanam means pure consciousness, primordial awareness, intelligence itself.
And Brahman.
Brahman is the ultimate non-dual reality.
Yeah.
That indescribable, infinite substance from which everything arises.
So when the Upanishad says consciousness is Brahman...
It's making an incredible assertion. It's saying that intelligence, awareness, these are not just traits of life here on Earth.
Right.
They are the substance itself. They're the defining quality of all existence.
I mean, if you really sit with that, the whole world just transforms in front of your eyes.
It does. It means the cosmos isn't some giant dead machine running on random chance.
It's alive.
It's intrinsically vibrant, intelligent, and self-aware. Matter, energy, the laws of physics, even time and space, all of these are secondary.
They don't create awareness.
They arise from awareness.
Yeah.
From that original substance.
That really reframes our place in the universe, doesn't it?
Fundamentally, we are not just isolated biological organisms fighting for meaning in a cosmos that doesn't care.
We are.
We are, at our very core, made of the same fabric as the infinite. This single insight that intelligence is universal, not local, it forms the entire spiritual and philosophical building of Tharat.
And to be a part of Aham Bharatham is to feel that connection.
It's to realize that we are not just in an intelligent universe. We are made of that very intelligence.
Now, this is where it gets truly fascinating for me, this ancient wisdom. You mentioned it's finding echoes today.
Yes. This is where the convergence becomes, quite arresting. For centuries, you had spiritual inquiry on one path.
And scientific measurement on another.
Parallel roads. But today, those roads are crossing in very surprising ways.
So where do we see this crossing?
We could look to modern science, specifically to biophysics.
Okay.
There's a leading figure, a man named Douglas Yuvan, and he's proposed a hypothesis that is so radical. It echoes the Upanishads with stunning clarity.
What is that hypothesis?
Well, for decades, standard neurology has worked on one assumption.
That the brain creates consciousness.
Exactly. The brain computes, it processes, it generates intelligence, and consciousness is just something that emerges from all that complex neural activity.
Right.
Yuval turns this completely on its head. He proposes that the human brain does not generate intelligence at all.
It doesn't, then.
Yeah.
What does it do?
He suggests that intelligence is a fundamental, non-local property of the cosmos itself.
Non-local, so it's everywhere.
Everywhere. Think of it like a vast, ever-present field of informational potential, a universal constant woven into the very fabric of space-time.
So if intelligence is a field, what is the brain's role in this model?
The brain is no longer the source. It is merely the interface.
The interface is like a radio.
A perfect analogy. It's a sophisticated receiver, an antenna designed to tune into this colossal cosmic field of intelligence.
So it's not writing the song, it's just playing the music that's already on the airwaves?
Precisely. It decodes this universal constant, but only when its own conditions, physical, chemical, biological, are perfectly aligned.
You know, you could almost call that a scientific remembrance.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's the scientific method arriving at the exact same destination the ancient seers reached thousands of years ago.
Through stillness and meditation.
Yes, they intuited the nature of the signal. Yuval is now proposing the mechanism for the receiver.
So when we look at Prajanam Brahma, consciousness is Brahman.
And then we look at Yuval's universal constant of informational potential. You get to see the overlap.
It's more than a parallel. It's the same idea in a different language.
Yes. The scientific term gives us a modern way to think about Brahman's intelligence. It suggests that accessing higher wisdom isn't about learning more things.
It's about what?
It's about refining the receiving apparatus, about cleaning the antenna.
Okay, so if we accept this profound idea that intelligence is universal, non-local, the question changes, doesn't it?
It has to. It shifts from what is the universe?
Or is my relationship to it, to this vast intelligence?
Exactly. And this is the very question that's addressed in the Chandogya Upanishad.
With the second great identity statement.
Yes. The later key, ta tredafamasi.
That thou art.
And it's crucial to understand this is not a feel-good metaphor. It's not a spiritual suggestion.
It's a statement of fact.
An absolute statement of non-dual identity. It says, unequivocally, that the same fundamental intelligence that orchestrates the dance of galaxies, that governs the cycles of nature, that sustains the entire universe, that exact infinite reality is what breathes within you.
So I'm not just a tiny piece of it.
You are not a fragment struggling to reach the source. You are the source.
Just temporarily expressing through a specific form.
Exactly. The individual self, the jiva, is not a spark trapped in a body. It's the infinite flame, the Atman, manifesting locally, the separation we feel. It's an illusion.
An illusion created by what?
By the limitations of the observing instrument.
The mind.
The mind. Which brings us to a very useful metaphor from Hindu philosophy. They described the inner world, the sensory mind, or manas, and the higher intellect, the buddhi, as upadhis.
Upadhis, what does that mean?
It means limiting adjuncts. They are instruments, tools. They're necessary for us to navigate the physical world.
Yeah.
But by their very nature, they have to filter and channel the infinite light of consciousness that passes through them. And in doing so, they limit it.
Can you give us an analogy for that?
Think of the power grid. That's Brahman, the infinite electricity supply. And your individual mind is a 40-watt light bulb.
Okay.
The bulb lets the light be seen. It gives it a form. But it also restricts the infinite power of the source.
I see. And there's another famous analogy, isn't there, about reflection?
The most common one. That the mind reflects the light of the Atman, the indwelling self, just as the moon reflects the light of the sun.
So the light, the intelligence, isn't produced by the moon or the mind?
It's not produced. It is merely revealed. It's self-existent, infinite.
So wisdom and clarity, they aren't things we have to go out and find?
No. They are inherent qualities of the Atman. They are revealed when the reflecting surface is clean.
And if the mind is cloudy, troubled?
If the mind is disturbed by ego, by desire, by what we call the siddhavrusis, the restlessness, then the reflection is distorted. The truth seems far away.
But when the mind is still?
When it's still and pure and clear, the reflection of that universal intelligence is perfect.
And that is self-realization.
That is self-realization. The moment the receiver understands that it is in its essence made of the very signal it perceives, this profound identity, that is the core message of Aham Bharatham.
So this is also practical then. If the mind and brain are this this sensitive receiver, this antenna, then the question becomes, how do we tune it?
That is the essential question for any seeker. How do we tune it? How do we purify that mirror of the mind?
And the answer is in yoga.
The answer is laid out with incredible precision in the challenge. The practical psychology of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. It's a text dedicated entirely to optimizing this internal instrument.
And the very first line gives the whole game away, doesn't it?
The very first foundational aphorism.
Which means
Yoga is the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind.
the citta vritti, that's the internal noise, the static.
Exactly, the thoughts, memories, emotions, the sensory inputs that constantly create static in the receiver. Patanjali says the whole point of the spiritual path is to stop these ripples, to bring the mind to a state of unwavering balance.
And what happens when you achieve that stillness? What's the result?
The very next verse tells us, Tarathrop Varupevashanam.
Meaning,
Then the seer abides in his own nature.
the seer. That's the true self, the Atman.
Yes, it means settling into that universal, non-local field of consciousness we've been talking about.
So meditation isn't about trying to create wisdom.
No, that's the profound insight here. It's not a striving to create something new. It's a process of tuning the mind, refining the antenna.
So it can resonate with the intelligence that's already there.
Already present, everywhere, all the time. It's about achieving a deep internal coherence.
Because if the receiver is erratic, it just picks up noise.
Localized fragments. But when the mind is steady and still, it picks up the pure, undistorted signal of the cosmos.
And this path. It's not just about sitting quietly, is it? It's about how you live.
It is. It requires ethical living, because that's what cultivates the right quality of mind. And this is defined by the three gusas.
Sattva, rajas, and tamas.
Yes. Rajas is restlessness, passion, constant activity. A mind dominated by rajas is a jumpy, unreliable receiver.
And tamas.
Tamas is inertia, dullness, darkness. It's like the receiver is switched off.
So the goal is sattva.
To transcend both and cultivate sattva, the quality of clarity, balance, harmony, and light.
A sattvic mind is the perfectly polished mirror.
Exactly. It reflects reality without distortion. It establishes that resonant coherence with the universe. And this practical, hands-on wisdom is such a vital part of the living heritage of Aham Bharatham.
It grounds the philosophy in actual experience.
It ensures it's not just abstract, but is always about the transformation of the self.
Let's go back to this dialogue between ancient thought and modern physics. It gets even sharper when we look at the role of the observer, doesn't it?
It becomes incredibly compelling, yes. The one who does the seeing.
In quantum theory, this is a huge puzzle.
A profound and bizarre reality. Subatomic particles. They exist in a state of potential as probabilities.
Until you look at them.
Until the moment they are observed or measured. The act of observation, the insertion of consciousness into the equation, collapses that wave of potential into a definite reality.
The famous Schrödinger's cat idea.
A useful, though often misunderstood, analogy. But the point is, the simple act of looking is creative.
Now, how does this connect back to Hindu philosophy?
It connects directly to the profound concept of Maya.
Maya is often just translated as illusion.
It is, but that's a bit of a simplification. In the deeper context of Advaita Vedanta, Maya is not an untruth. It's the divine power of projection.
The mechanism of creation.
The mechanism by which the infinite being, Brahman, measures itself out into finite forms.
So how does it work?
Vedanta states that the universe first exists as pure, undifferentiated potential within Brahman, unmanifested being.
Okay.
And it is only when consciousness attends to it, when the observer looks through the lens of the upadhis, the mind and intellect.
That potential becomes real.
It manifests into name, nama, and form, rupa. It becomes the reality we experience with our senses.
That convergence it's genuinely stunning.
It is. In both the modern lab and the ancient text, the subjective act of awareness is the essential catalyst. It transforms potential into experience.
Reality isn't just passively out there.
It requires the interaction of consciousness to become actualized.
Oh.
The observer and the observed are not separate.
They're inseparable.
And awareness is the key. The mechanism that unlocks existence from the realm of boundless possibility.
That reinforces the idea that our internal state of consciousness isn't just reacting to the world.
It is fundamentally shaping the reality you experience. To understand Maya is to understand the creative power of your own awareness.
It's incredible. And this idea of an interface, a receiver, Yuval, the biophysicist, he took it even further, didn't he? Into the actual physical structure of the brain.
He did. He didn't just talk about abstract fields. He pointed to the architecture, using the concept of fractal geometry.
Fractals, the patterns that repeat at every scale.
Exactly. He observed the self-similar branching structure of our neural networks, the way our dendrites spread out.
And he saw that pattern elsewhere.
He noted that it mirrors patterns all across the universe. The spread of lightning, the branching of a river delta, the structure of our blood vessels.
Even the spiral arms of galaxies.
Yes, these patterns repeat endlessly, from the microscopic to the cosmic. And he suggests this is not an accident.
It's the optimal design for an interface.
It is. A fractal antenna is highly efficient at receiving signals across a huge range of frequencies. Our neural architecture is, therefore, physically optimized to tap into that non-local information.
It's the ultimate antenna design.
Mirroring the very nature of the universal field it seeks to access.
And this geometric insight, it also has a deep resonance with the ancient seers.
A profound resonance. They may not have used the word fractal, but they spoke of Raita.
Raita, what is that?
It's the sacred self-organizing order that governs the universe, the cosmic blueprint, the principle of natural harmony and rhythm that ensure the orderly flow of existence.
And in this view, this order repeats itself.
It manifests by repeating the pattern of the whole in every single part. It links the individual body, the microcosm or pinda, to the macrocosm, the Ramanda.
So the patterns in our neurons and the patterns in the stars are expressions of the same intelligence.
The same continuous, self-similar, intelligent order. To make it more concrete, think of the Sri Yantra.
The geometric mandala used in meditation.
Yes. It's not just art. It's a precise mathematical representation of the geometry of consciousness itself.
The intersecting triangles.
Representing the union of Shiva, consciousness, and Shakti, energy. It symbolizes the perfect, harmonious union of the finite and the infinite.
So meditating on it is like tuning your inner antenna.
It is an exercise in aligning the internal neural antenna to resonate with the external cosmic order, achieving that sattvic coherence through sacred form.
The body, the mind, the cosmos,
Yeah.
all diagrams of the same self-aware intelligence.
Yeah.
So we have the metaphysics from the Upanishads, the psychology from the Yoga Sutras. Where does the Bhagavad Gita fit in?
The Gita offers a beautiful, intimate understanding. It emphasizes the path of devotion, of a personal relationship with the divine.
It takes the vast abstract concept of Brahman.
It makes it immediately accessible. It brings the source of awareness right down into our own inner experience.
How does it do that?
Lord Krishna, speaking as the ultimate reality, declares it with divine simplicity in chapter 15. Aum se shokai, nan boliveni nan sasovo. And the meaning of that is,
It's striking. I am seated in the heart of all beings. From me come memory, knowledge, and their loss.
that's such a direct statement.
It's unequivocal. It says true intelligence, shnanam, memory, smiri. Even when we forget things, it doesn't originate in the brain's hardware.
It comes from the divine source seated in the heart.
And the heart, the entity, is not the physical organ. It's the spiritual center, the core seat of awareness, where the individual Atman interfaces most directly with the universal.
So intelligence isn't a calculation, it's a flow.
It is an inherent flow from this divine source within. The brain is the processor, yes, but the power source, the ultimate input, is the spiritual core.
And this flow is connected to devotion. It is. Krishna speaks of Buddha Yoga, the yoga of intelligence. He says, "To those who are ever devoted, who worship me with love, I give the intelligence by which they come to me."
So grace completes the alignment.
Beautifully put. Buddha Yoga is not something we earn through sheer mental effort. It's something that flows through us when we are aligned through love, devotion, purity of intent.
It's a reciprocal relationship.
A key component of the deep spiritual current of Aham Bharatham.
Okay, so we have this really elegant bridge. Yuvan's universal intelligence field is Brahman. The brain as a receiver is the Upadis. The clarity of reception is Sattva.
It's a workable, beautiful model.
But Advaita Vedanta, non-duality, asks us to take one final step, doesn't it?
It asks us to take the ultimate leap, beyond this dualistic model, beyond a receiver and a source trying to connect.
The final realization is the collapse of that duality.
Yes, the core message is that the receiver and the source were never two separate things to begin with.
And this is where we get the ultimate declaration of identity.
The pinnacle of self-inquiry.
Kifaya Kalat. Hamaramsmi.
I am Brahman.
It is the non-dual truth that separation is a mirage. a trick of the mind's filtering equipment. The individual drop of awareness, the jiva, realizes it has always been the ocean of consciousness, Brahman.
And when that realization happens,
The whole idea of intelligence needing to travel or be connected becomes obsolete.
consciousness doesn't move.
It simply is. The act of tuning in is just the infinite self recognizing itself in the temporary mirror of the mind. The mirror realizes it's made of light.
The Prajnanika Upanishad has a stunning way of putting this, reversing how we see things.
It does. We tend to think of ourselves as conscious beings living inside a vast universe.
But the Upanishad says the opposite.
It says, "He who dwells in all beings, whose body all beings are, he is the inner self, the immortal."
So we are not in consciousness.
Consciousness exists within us. We are just a temporary form that it chooses to inhabit for self-expression.
And the final affirmation of this, from the Mandukya Upanishad, Alakana calls us I am Atma Brahma.
This self is Brahman.
And when this is understood in the core of one's being, the seeking stops. Because what was sought is realized to be your own eternal natural state. The fragment realizes it is the totality. This is the silent liberation offered by the wisdom of Aham Bharatham.
So, for all of us listening, navigating this complex world, what is the ultimate practical takeaway from all of this?
I think if true intelligence is universal, infinite, and not generated inside our heads, the practical implication is remarkably simple.
Which is?
To access true intelligence and clarity, we don't need to chase more external information. We need to decrease the internal noise.
Decrease the noise. That's the essence of it.
It is. Every single spiritual discipline, meditation, introspection, ethical action, devotion, it all serves this one unified purpose.
To quiet the turbulence.
To quiet the turbulence of thought, the distortion of ego, the insistence of desire that creates static in our awareness.
Because when the inner field is calm and clear,
When we cultivate that sattvic stillness, the signal of universal intelligence flows effortlessly. A clear mind is a perfect mirror.
it's both inspiring and humbling. In an age so focused on creating artificial intelligence.
It's a profound realization that true intelligence isn't an algorithm. It's not a chemical reaction. It is the infinite, silent, eternal ground of being itself, the Sanātana Satya.
Yuvan invites science to look outward into the cosmos.
And the sages invite us to look inward, into the nature of the self. One looks through instruments, the other through intentional stillness.
And yet both paths arrive at the same destination.
That intelligence is infinite and ever-present. The universe is not a deaf machine. It is a living, resonant symphony of awareness.
And the final vision of the Upanishads captures this
The
completely.
ultimate statement of inclusion. Rankal Sabankal Vidam Brahma.
All this indeed is Brahman.
It dissolves every boundary between self and other, material and spiritual. It's the affirmation of total unified existence.
So the deepest truth to reflect on is,
Consciousness is not in you. You are in consciousness.
if this vision of timeless wisdom and its reflection in modern discovery speaks to you, we invite you to continue this exploration with us. Follow and subscribe to Aham Bharatham to receive updates and join this ongoing deep conversation. It truly is a gentle journey into the very heart of awareness.
It is.
Until next time, namaste and Om Namah Shivaya.